Welcome to this edition of Channel 97 News.
We come to you today from Roger Estes Stadium, and here's just a look at some of the stories you'll see on today's show.
We get ready to say goodbye to our popular superintendent.
We examine the condition of the new tennis courts at Bernard Middle School.
We shift over to what Robotics is testing out.
And we share a rescue story which is, well, doggone adorable.
We'll have all that and much more on today's edition of Channel 97 News.
And it all starts now.
Welcome back to Eyes on the Tigers, Channel 97 News. I'm Jacob King.
And I'm Joe Keller. Dr. Knoss has been Oakville Superintendent for 3 years. So how will our school do without him? Amanda Lubke and Nicole Carey try to answer just that.
On March 24, 2014, Dr. Eric Knoss announced that he was leaving the Melville School District, but that was not an easy decision for him.
It was something that I wasn't intending. I fully expected I'd retire in the Melville School District. I've been here 12 years, longest leg of my career. I love what I do. I love my position. I love all the positions I've had, going back to being principal of Oakville High School here.
With only 3 years as superintendent, Dr. Knoss has helped Melville School District in more ways than one.
District-wide, I think that Eric has done a marvelous job at increasing the communication with the community, the transparency of the board, which means that people have good communication. There's a lot of things that are being said to the community. They're keeping the community informed.
What I'm most proud of is the way I feel that the Melville School District community is more united than I've ever known the district to be. I'm proud of the fact that I think our school district has always deserved to be on the map. And I think we really are on the map now.
As a leaving superintendent, Knoss has some advice for the new superintendent.
Keep telling the story, stay out in front, play offense, constantly remind people how great we are, and then live up to the expectation when people expect you to be great. Be accountable, put yourself out there, be accessible.
When Knoss announced he was leaving, many were disappointed.
When I first found out that Dr. Knoss was leaving, I was obviously bummed. I think he's been a great leader for our school and for our school district, and it was, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed.
I think it's going to be a big loss for the district. I really think that he was a good superintendent.
I'm going to miss Eric. He's not only is a colleague, but a good friend, and I've worked with him for a lot of years, so it's our loss and Rockwood's gain.
But Knoss is not done with Melville School District yet.
I keep reminding people I'm still here. There's months left to my contract, and I actually, believe it or not, I have enough between my vacation days and my accrued leave days. I could have walked out a couple weeks ago, actually more than a couple weeks, probably last month, and been done, and still be, because I've accrued all those days. I have no intention of doing that. Because there's a lot of work to be done.
Good luck, Dr. Knoss. The Melville School District will miss you. With Amanda Lubke, I'm Nicole Carey for Channel 97 News.
OHS lost a former student over Easter weekend to a car crash. Here's an inside look at an upcoming event designed to prevent these tragedies.
This Wednesday, a mock car crash will take place for juniors and seniors.
Officer Andrew has called basically the paramedics and the fire department and the police department and has gotten 2 cars for us, and they're going to stage an accident and then show how life-saving procedures take place, how accident scenes are secured, etc.
This will be the first mock car crash demonstration at OHS in 3 years.
The SAD Club puts on the mock car accident scene, and they asked the drama troupe if they would provide the actors and the makeup and the set for the actual production. The whole goal is to make the students aware, or help the students become aware of the importance of driving carefully. No texting while driving, don't drive under the influence, don't drive when you're tired, because it can have some serious consequences.
Drama troupe officers will be the actors for this production.
Excited. It's been something I've been looking forward to seeing for a couple years, but to be a part of it is really, really cool.
It's a good learning lesson for a lot of people, and it'll really affect a lot of lives and show people.
With Jackie Dreppert, I'm Marla Togliatti for Channel 97 News.
Although the tennis courts are relatively new, they've seen their share of faults. Jake has the details.
This year marks the first season that Oakville and Melville students have been able to enjoy the new tennis courts. However, the inaugural season has been anything but perfect.
The tennis courts were built and finished in May of 2013, and when I came out before the start of the boys' season to take a look at the courts after the winter, I noticed there were cracking in all 8 courts, from the post in the center position all the way down to the other courts. And then courts 3 and courts number 5 has some cracking in them as well. Speculation is probably one, the type of material being used. I'm sure it wasn't the top of the line material. The second is obviously with the winter we had, of course, but for me and for the players and for the district and community, less than a year's time, this should never have happened.
But how are these cracks affecting the players?
The cracks where they're positioned, it does not affect play. They are outside of the realm of normal play, I guess if you could call it that way. And also the cracks are not big enough yet or wide enough to make a difference. If you would bounce a ball on it, it would not affect play at all, but over time it will. The court company has been contacted, and as far as I understand right now, they said that they understand the situation, and they said it is not acceptable, and that they will make up for it. Don't know quite what that entails, whether that is patching them. Actually, a few of them have been patched already, which is a good sign, but don't quite know, especially because they're not going to be patched during the high school boys tennis season. It's going to wait to be over summer, so time will tell.
With Madison Dodge Filming, I'm Jacob King for Channel 97 News. Robotics class does some pretty interesting things. Nick Van Winkle and Jake Lapina have more.
So when we meet, we basically work on our robot individually. There are some people who do the programming for it, while the rest of us work on building it or drawing the designs or working out kinks in the design that's already been made.
We have 2 teams currently this year, and we meet on Mondays and Tuesdays normally. I do all the drawings and all the brainstorming, and I write down all the ideas the team has, and I make notations of what's going on with the bot.
There's some times where it's just easy, like you just sit down, you can put a few screws and some metal together and make it come out the way you designed it. And then there are other times where you're stuck on a design process or stuck like trying to figure out how to configure it, 2 motors together.
This year we're entering the VEX Robotics competition, and we're going to have to do a couple different things. We're picking up balls and throwing them, buckyballs and beach balls, and we're also climbing on poles. One of the main constraints is we can only use VEX Robotics parts. Also, the robot can only be within, I think it's a 1.5 foot cube, and there are some other specific rules like that we have to follow.
So we built the base. This was straight out of the instructions, and then we added this. It's called the VEXNet controller. This is what we have, this plug in here that lets it connect to the game controller so we can make it move and go. This here is a bracket. We're going to put an arm on it so it can go up and down, pick up balls for competition game. And these plugs here are what we will plug extra motors into for the arm and other devices to make it connect straight to the controller, which we will program the buttons to make it do different things.
I think that the world that you students are moving into is going to be primarily filled with some sort of robotics, either mechanical like in cars and throws and things like that. And I think kids who understand how they work and how to make them work are going to have a foot up on employment.
The teams will finish their robots and compete on May 17th at Oakville High School. With Nick Van Winkle, I'm Jake Lapina for Channel 97 News.
Several OHS teachers are animal lovers. Here's a story about a teacher who takes her love for animals to another level.
Oakville English teacher, Miss Jen Freeworth, has a large family. This is mostly because she adopted a lot of dogs.
Sammy's 13. She was a rescue from Monroe County Humane Society. She was found in an East St. Louis junkyard, living in a car, and so we adopted her. And Tony came next. He was a farm dog. He was just a puppy found on a farm, and we got him that way. Grace she's the gray one. She was St. Louis Stray Rescue. We were fostering her and taking her to different adoptions, and we kind of fell in love with her and flunked out of the program by adopting her. And then Brody, he's our recent addition. He's the little one over here. He's about 1 year old, and he was chained to a tire with a huge chain, dragging it down the middle of New Halls Ferry up in North City, and a police officer who knew that we fostered in the past called and said he needs a foster home, and we saw him and he was so beautiful that we decided to take him home with us, so he became our newest one.
The reasons behind her adoptions are quite sentimental.
We started fostering because our kids, specifically Hope, always wanted another dog.
I've always loved animals, and my mom calls me like the animal whisperer.
We started fostering because that was a way to have more dogs in the house, and it was something the family could do together. We would care for the foster dogs, and we'd take them to adoptions, and we always got to have a new dog in the house.
It's kind of hard sometimes because then we have to like love a dog, and then it goes, and then it's sad because the dogs are great, but it's cool because we always get new dogs.
With Annalise Richter, I'm Anna Kramer for Channel 97 News.
Boys and girls often play the same sport, but here's a story about the only true co-ed sport at OHS.
The water polo team at OHS has some tough guys, but it also has some tough girls. And what you may not know is that they play together on the same team.
Sometimes it gets intense because they will sometimes try to claw you and punch your insides out.
Water polo, it's difficult with guys because some of them will be like really scared to like touch you and go near you, but the other guys don't back off and they'll treat you like a guy, so like they'll push you under.
It's a little intimidating at first because you get kind of up close and personal with the guys, and it can be a little uncomfortable at first because you're not really used to that.
They play harder, they play dirty, so we don't give them any special treatment.
It's pretty rough most of the time because they're so much bigger than you, but then you also have some things that you can do to help.
Girls definitely like to scratch more. We can get away with having a little bit longer nails, so we kind of use that to our advantage. We also have to kick a little bit more, especially under the water, of course, but it's pretty violent, so a lot of girls don't want to try to keep up with them, or they don't want to get hurt. So it's a little tough getting the girls to come out and try it, but it is a lot of fun.
With Jackie Drepper, Joe Keller, and Nick Van Winkle, I'm Adam Rowland for Channel 97 News.
One OHS student keeps herself pretty busy, especially during the spring. Adam Rowland and Jackie Drepper have more.
This is Tina Haberberger. As a very involved student, you may have seen her around OHS.
I'm in Spanish club, and then I'm also kind of like in student council. I'm not really that active because I've got a lot, but I try to make it to as many of the meetings as I can. I'm editor-in-chief of the newspaper, and I'm in leadership.
She's very active, so I think just that's her nature, and her nature is to step forward when things need to be done. She just does it.
Tina's a great person to work with. I really enjoy working with her. We work real closely together. We're kind of, us along with Maddie Foster, we're the three people returning to the staff, so we've had a good experience with each other. We work well together, and we get what needs to be done.
But what Tina really loves comes in the spring.
It's a big commitment, but it's so much fun being on a varsity team for that long with all like your classmates.
Tina, being a goalie, as tall as she is unique, and that was really something that we have struggled to have over, the past 10, 15 years is a goalie with her size.
Tina has accomplished something that is rare among high school students.
Tina came to the program as a freshman. She stunned us actually as a freshman coming into our program, and actually started her freshman year at the varsity level, and was actually our MVP her freshman year.
It's just really exciting. Like my freshman year, I freaked out. I was like, no way, like no way. And just like being on it for 4 years, you kind of just like see the team move and shift and grow with everybody who graduates. But it's like really exciting whenever you got like somebody new. You get excited for the new season.
A lot of kids will play a lot those first year or two at JV and sit the bench on varsity, so they'll tell you they've been on varsity for 4 years. I think in Tina's case, what is unique about her is that she wasn't just on varsity, she was playing on varsity.
She's definitely stepped up to the plate and just been a great figure for us through the past 4 years.
Tina has received a scholarship to Drury University to play soccer. Congratulations and good luck, Tina. With photographer Adam Rowland, I'm Jackie Drippard for Channel 97 News.
And now, here's Robbie Obradovic with his final installment of Hear Me Out.
Robbie, quick! I need that balloon. Really, really badly.
People these days seem to get what they want confused with what they need. People need food, water, and shelter. People want Uggs, 4G internet service, and nap time. However, when someone seems to want something enough, they seem to look at it like a need.
I don't need it. I definitely don't need it.
I need it! Oh my God, it's funny!
Then when people don't get what they want, they say that's not fair. Fair is misinterpreted all the time these days for literally any subject. Take rules, for example. People say they aren't fair because they don't get to do whatever they want.
There's no one to tell me not to!
Nice.
Fair is an idea that relates to an individual, not a group. For instance, some people need a specific environment to learn in. That's a need. We can't complain, that's not fair. Recently, students have been getting upset because they're being told not to bring peanuts to school. They see this as unreasonable and inconvenient. Students feel entitled to do whatever they want because they feel above the unfair expectations. Well, newsflash, rules and expectations are set in place for those who need a healthy, safe environment. Bottom line is this: fair does not mean everybody gets the same. Fair means everybody gets what they need. And remember, I'm Robbie Obradovic with Joe Keller, and thanks for listening, Oakville.
Well, that wraps up today's edition of Channel 97 News. Remember to check out our May 14th broadcast, followed by our senior broadcast on May 20th.
And check out all of our broadcasts on MyOHS Online in the Channel 97 News tab. Thanks for watching today's show. I'm Jacob King.
And I'm Joe Keller. Remember, Oakville, keep your eyes on the Tigers.